Well, for more on the story, we're now turning to Farhana Quasi. She is a senior fellow with the Center for Advanced Studies on Terrorism. Farhana, thank you for joining us. When you hear that it is a faction of the Taliban claiming responsibility for this attack, what's your reaction to that?
Well, my reaction is that it's, unfortunately, it's expected. I mean, this group that claimed attacked, it was a faction of the Taliban, and it split from the main Taliban in 2014 because of political infighting and fracturing with the main Taliban. But this organization is sectarian in nature. It shares many of al-Qaeda's goals in the region and also with the Taliban, which is that its intention is to create an Islamic state. So, regrettably, I'm not surprised that they would attack the Christian community. We've seen in the past in Pakistan other attacks against churches and other minorities. We've also seen Shia Sunni sectarian violence that has taken place from organizations like this.
Well, you say not surprising that they should attack a Christian community, but also the timing of this. Of course, this is Easter Sunday. It seems to say that this too plays a factor in what we are seeing here.
Absolutely. Remember what terrorism intends to do. It is a high impact attack, and so they want to be made visible. I remember many years ago, and I'm also from the city of Lahore, when I was in Lahore, and it was Christmas Day. So December 25th is also a day celebrated in Pakistan because it's the founder's birthday. But because it was Christmas, I, as a Muslim woman, was told not to go outside, that something could happen. So Pakistanis are always kind of bracing for some kind of event or terrible incident to take place. But the fact that it happened in Lahore is symbolic for another reason, because attacks like this do not happen in Lahore. If you look at the history of terrorism in Pakistan from the years 2001, 2013, there have been over 13,000 attacks. 30% of those attacks have occurred in the tribal belt, or they have occurred in the capital city of Islamabad or Peshawar, which is in the north. But increasingly, what the Taliban and other jihadi factions are trying to do is destabilize Pakistan and also make people overall, whether you're Christian, Muslim, or any other religious minority, it doesn't matter. These organizations are trying to create fear into the hearts of average Pakistanis.
Well, as you say, their goal is trying to destabilize Pakistan. So what does that say about the political situation on the ground? How vulnerable is the government right now to the Taliban? Can they meet this challenge?
I think this attack really has a stop. I would like, since the start of this year in January, there hasn't been a day that's gone by that the Pakistani forces have not battled Taliban and other militants in the north, in the tribal belt. So they're in constant, warfare with these local jihadi groups. I think this attack really signals, as in some ways, a wake-up call for the Pakistanis. It was also the same in December 2014 when an army school was attacked in the city of Peshawar, and over 130 children were killed. And so that was another alarming incident for the Pakistanis. And any time an attack like this happens, it just means that the security of the situation in Pakistan has further weakened. And now they have to go back to the drawing board, so to speak, and try to stabilize a country that is already destabilized. Remember, Pakistan is the most terror-hit nation in the world next to Iraq. So there have to be stronger counterterrorism policies and practices in place in order to strengthen Pakistan.
Well, you say it's a wake-up call for the Pakistani government. What about Western powers like Canada, like the United States, like Europe? What is this saying to them about the situation in Pakistan and how they might respond and help here?
Well, I can say that, looking at Pakistan for over for the last 20 years as a security analyst, that the relationship between America and Pakistan, from the military to military cooperation, has always been very strong. Now that Pakistan has a civilian leader in power, although that too is questionable whether Pakistan is a true democracy and whether the civilian leadership actually has the power to be a strong democratic leader. Those questions aside, I think what European nations can do, which they have done, is they express their condolences. They offer counterterrorism training and support to the Pakistanis. But I think this is an internal issue. I don't think that the West can provide any kind of input because this is really an internal issue, and it speaks volumes of some of the sectarian issues that have brewed in Pakistan for the past 60 years. It also says a great deal about the level of intolerance, not only between Muslims and Muslims, but Muslims Muslims and Christians. And Christians are the largest minority in Pakistan today. Some would say the figure is around 3 million, or at least up to 3% of the population. So it's a sizable population. And most Pakistanis actually, they have good relations with other religious minorities. But unfortunately, it's the Taliban and other local violent groups that are creating this tyranny.
Farhana, I so appreciate your time and your insight. That is Farhana Quasi, a senior fellow with the Center for Advanced Studies on Terrorism.